As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I'm joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, deemed to be university, and it's a center of excellence, Center for Informatics Development, Solutions and Applications, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, in association with African Asian Rural Development Organization, ARDO, New Delhi, organize this weekly international webinar series on open source digital technologies for self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Today is 26th February 2022. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency, the Secretary General, Afro-Asian Rural Development Organization, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as the Professor Emeritus and Chairman of Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Let me welcome our guest speaker of today's webinar, 64th edition of the webinar series, on the topic Knowledge Management for Development Partnership to Achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, of the United Nations and implementing the Agenda 2030. We welcome you, sir. Professor Dr. Andreas Brandner, Global Chairman and Managing Director, Knowledge City, Vienna, Austria. I wish to inform the participants and the guest speaker that under this international webinar series, these two centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Applications, have organized 63 lectures so far on very important topics relevant of today. Open technologies to provision simple and economical IT infrastructure. A roadmap for students using free and open source and reaching the goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Open source software and industrial IoTs for SMEs. Free and open source software adoption and business models. Open data platform for smart digital government. Technology imperatives, make in India for self-reliance. Edge artificial intelligence. Data governance for self-reliant India. Digital India transforming governance and society. India's email service, citizen@indiamail.com in 22 constitutionally recognized languages. Ecosystem architecture for digital transformation. Education system, cyber critical infrastructure. Seizing opportunities in open innovation and value creation network in the digital world for self-reliant economy. Delivered by Dr. Jabamale Vinanchi Arachi, former Principal Advisor to the Director General UNIDO, Vienna, on 5th December 2020. Ensuring food safety and compliance through technology. Digital India, urgent need for semiconductor manufacturing in India. Technology investment in agriculture value chain, role of foreign direct investment. Entrepreneurship and skill development, AI design pathways. The rise of platform economy, revisiting value chain governance. The era of automation, industrial robotics, and Industry 4.0, Indo-German perspective of technology transfer, skill gap analysis and opportunities. Role of artificial intelligence in healthcare, current developments in diagnosis and vaccine research. Digital agri-tech and agri-startup perspective. Health informatics network value chain, e-health system and beyond. leveraging emerging technologies for ensuring transparent and traceable agri and food supply chain. Unleash the power of citizen development for enterprises after development. E-governance models towards sustained quality service to citizen backed up by technology. Indian MSMEs to adopt Industry 4.0 technology capabilities, urgent need for mentorship and accelerator program. Building public digital platform using microservices and APIs. Health informatics network value chain, early childhood development and learning. Health informatics network value chain, clinical AI, interface between machine learning and health informatics. Health informatics network value chain, importance of social medicine and community health in the times of health emergency. Gravity filter, low-cost solution to the drinking water treatment in rural India. Open source GovTech startups, empowering growth with automation. Digital transformation in small enterprises and small businesses of India, challenges and opportunities. National Digital Twine Program, need for a robust geospatial infrastructure. Industry 4.0 in MSMEs, benefits of indigenously developed CollabCAD software from National Informatics Center. Mass serialization and anti-counterfeiting solutions, intelligence approach, to fight illicit trade. Cybersecurity, risk, challenges and solutions, intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk. New internet IPv6 root server toward Atmanirbhar Connected Bharat. Indian startups, reflections, and possible policy intervention needed for scaling up to Gram Panchayat. Blockchain and crypto for digital assets platform, pathway for global trade. Robot as a service, leverage technology to solve enterprise challenges. Space startups connecting to international markets with emerging business models. Enabling technologies for future vision. Vivekananda Secondary Education and Skills Development Mega Project, its potential impact on rural entrepreneurship and rural economy in India. The Sports Grail, a digital sports media platform, and prospects of Indian sports industry in sustainability model at global level. Pharma 4.0, Industry 4.0 applications to pharmaceutical manufacturing, pathway to a digital transformation. Accelerate and scale non-linear growth through partner ecosystem. Technological renaissance and the human capital, a perspective. Health informatics network value chain, medical outreach, challenges and potential. Beyond COVID-19, revitalizing micro and small enterprises. Project management essentials, launch pad for future CEOs and startup founders beyond. Society 5.0, a new society beyond Industry 4.0 and post-COVID-19. Smart village, community, and the African ICT IoT lesson. Digital economy, ways and means to protect and empower self-reliance. Pragmatic ways for Atmanirbhar Bharat, democratization of essential services by using sustainable energy as a catalyst. Transforming India through relevant education and vocational training. Digital technology in simplifying citizen life. Online learning during the pandemic and its future. Smart microeconomic zone, pathway for self-reliance at village level. Crime prediction support system. And today is the 64th edition of this very important webinar series. We will have the talk by our guest speaker, Professor Dr. Andreas Brandner, Global Chairman and Managing Director, Knowledge City, Vienna, Austria, on a very important topic, knowledge management for development partnership to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs of the United Nations, and implementing the Agenda 2030. Dear participants, please note the keywords. Knowledge management. Repeat, knowledge management. Development partnership. United Nations, Sustainable Development Goals, and Agenda 2030. Atmanirbhar Bharat, the road ahead, is the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, of making India a self-reliant nation rested on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation, and based on 5 pillars: economy, quantum jump; infrastructure, one that represents modern India; system, 21st century technology driven; vibrant demography; and demand, whereby the strength of our demand and supply chain should be utilized to full capacity; digital technology in simplifying our citizens' life. And according to an Ernst & Young report, they identified 5 critical areas where the governments can harness digital technologies to create better outcomes for citizens. Understand their citizens better and achieve better outcomes. Provide services more effectively and efficiently. Find new solutions to policy challenges. Engage with external partners to develop new delivery models. Commercialize some public services and develop fresh sources of income, revenue. And there are 10 ideas to transform the government digital relationship with the citizen. One is putting the citizen at the center of everything, unifying the relationship between the state and citizen, ending the technology autonomy of organization, centralize all technical teams, separate strategy from policy, define transversal process and practices, adopt open source methodology, revolutionize the languages of the state, comply with the digital accessibility laws, foster collaboration and participation. Digital India program aims to transform India into a knowledge-based economy and a digitally empowered society. Knowledge-based economy and digitally empowered society. It has published a report titled India's $1 trillion Digital Opportunity in collaboration with the McKinsey and Company. And this report have identified 30 digital themes, and if scaled up nationally, can accelerate India's progress in 9 key areas. Digital platform is a platform economy which is emerging, and digital ecosystems are essential for digital transformation in the digital world. Frontier technology in digital ecosystems in the planet are cloud computing, mobile phones, IoT platforms, social media, GPS, advanced human-computer interactions, authentications and intrusion detection, 3D printing, smart sensors, augmented reality, wearable devices, and analysis of big data and advanced algorithms, and user data collection. This is where the knowledge management has to have a leading role. 10 emerging technologies making the impact are AI, 5G, IoT, serverless computing, biometrics, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, robotics, natural language processing, and quantum computing. And ecosystems, as far as India is concerned, we have Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, Stand Up India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and Mission 2022 programs. We are aiming at Agriculture 4.0, Industry 4.0, and Society 5.0. Industry 4.0 came from German. Society 5.0 is coming from Japan. And India wants to contribute to the whole world, Agriculture 4.0. And these are all essential. And this will take care of the rural economy. And $1 trillion digital economy is very important. It needs quality education for all, and digital content delivery and learning in schools and higher education institutions. And this is very important with respect to knowledge management is concerned. And Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations and the Agenda 2030. I also would like to inform the audience and our guest speaker that the Government of India have established is the Amrit Kal led up to 100. It means that today India is at 75, it's got 75 years of independence. It got independence in 1947. Now, the present government has now worked up a strategic long-term plan for about 25 years. And India, what it should be, how it should be, where it should be at India at 100. That's in local language, it is called Amrit Kal and Golden Era. And it is led up to at 100. And it has got, 4 areas, 4 pillars. It is the Prime Minister's, Gadi Sakti. It means speed, strong speed. And then inclusive development, productivity enhancement, and enhancement and investment, sunrise opportunities, energy transition, and climate action, and financing of investment. And with respect to this one, today, let us see that how Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations and the Agenda 2030 are going to be with respect to India is concerned. Future we want is the mission. We have to attain it. United Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by United Nations in 2015 as an universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, all people enjoy peace and prosperity. The 17 SDG goals are integrated. They recognize that action in one area will affect outcomes in others, and that the development must balance social, economic, and environmental sustainability. That's why in our 25 years next perspective plan, India put it inclusive development. The creativity, know-how, technology, and financial resources from all of society is necessary to achieve the SDG in every context. We got 17 goals with 169 targets, covering a broad range of sustainable development issues. And this 2030 agenda provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet, now and into the future. And in 1992, I would like to inform the August audience and our guest speaker, at the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, more than 178 countries adopted Agenda 21, a comprehensive plan of action to build a global partnership for sustainable development to improve human lives and protect the environment. I was quite impressed by the Agenda 21, Chapter 14. And that talked about sustainable agriculture and rural development, which inspired me in India, inspired. And when I was looking after the ICT in agriculture sector, in May 2095, in May 1995, I organized a national conference on informatics for sustainable agriculture development called ISDA 95, which provide an IT blueprint for agriculture sector in India. So Agenda 21, Chapter 14, Sustainable Agriculture Rural Development, which inspired me. And in 95, I had a national conference at Vigyan Bhavan, where more than 450 experts, lawmakers, and agriculture scientists participated, gave a blueprint of 15th informatics network in the agriculture sector. And then by 2018, when I was a member of 2 subcommittees of doubling farmers' income by 2022, the achievement which I have done it from 1987 at the district level computerization program in 512 districts, where agriculture, animal husbandry, livestock, and fisheries are important component. And then 95 in informatics for sustainable agriculture development, and in doubling farmers' income, it has come out as a 7 mission mode programs for digitalization of agriculture sector to help 14.5 crore operational holders, out of which 85% are small and marginal farmers. That is the mission which I was inspired and by the United Nations various agendas and so on and so forth. Knowledge management framework. A knowledge management framework is a structure designed to help one map, create, distribute, scale, and optimize one's organization's knowledge and knowledge resources, which consist of explicit and tacit knowledge. It is explicit knowledge is a tip of the iceberg. More than 75% of this knowledge component is below, it is under the tacit knowledge, which consists of individual skills, ideas, cultural beliefs, expertise, insights, values, education, institution, attitudes, experience, observations, and mental models. And sustainability framework, which deals with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which deals with knowledge management processes and activities. There have been a lot of reports published on knowledge management portal and also enterprise knowledge platform, which focuses on maintaining and verifying the validity of knowledge it provides, it produces, and it manages. Distinguish knowledge from mere data. Encourages users to produce and integrate knowledge as opposed to mere information. I would like to quote our premier ICT, Indian MNC, Infosys, which in their website, they clearly says that knowledge management at the heart of everything we do, Infosys, in their website, which they put it. They learn, they share, and they reuse. Achieving excellence by building knowledge capability and maturity. Let us come back to our today's talk, Knowledge for Development Partnership, K for DP. Aims to include shareholder groups from all over the world to create, drive, and implement the agenda knowledge for development for better knowledge sharing and collaboration, increased competence in knowledge management, and better conditions for individual knowledge. And I'm also very much impressed to look into his document, which he has prepared on knowledge management for agriculture development agenda with 10 components, very important components. Let me quote: knowledge partnership and knowledge agenda, knowledge inclusion program, knowledge advanced program, knowledge management excellence program, national knowledge hub and digitalization, advanced knowledge process, and academic centers for knowledge sciences, and business models and resource mobilization, and fake news and quality information standards, and knowledge infrastructure and centers. It's a very important component, and even our organization, country, and programs, and village level, district level, and if we're able to have a knowledge management for development agenda, I think we'll be in a position to have inclusive development. Nobody will be left out. And they also have a next level academy. I was quite impressed when I looked into their website. It talks about form and empower the next generation of knowledge partner for a sustainable world. Knowledge, development, and partnership. And above all, I was quite impressed by their adoption of technologies and science, knowledge graph and artificial intelligence, knowledge graphs and machine learning. And it's going to be the future of AI analytics. Today, they talk about machine learning and deep learning, and with the knowledge graphs, it will be the future of AI analytics. And with industries increasingly adopting machine learning, it seems likely that knowledge graph technology will also evolve hand in hand, as well as being a useful format for feeding training data to algorithms. Machine learning can quickly build and structure graph databases, drawing connections between data points that would otherwise go unnoticed. that data points that would go otherwise unnoticed. Artificial intelligence space is evolving rapidly with the data science organization and identifying knowledge gaps as a key capability for successful AI projects. With this background, let us now turn to the address by our guest speaker, Professor Dr. Andreas Brandner, Global Chairman, Managing Director, Knowledge City, Vienna, Austria, on a very important topic, knowledge management for development partnership to achieve the sustainable development goals of UN implementing Agenda 2030. This topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching our telecast through facebook.com/Shobhit University India or youtube.com Shobhit University in or LinkedIn /company /Shobhit University for motivating them to get inspired to work in the country through knowledge for development partners. Professor Andreas Brandner is advancing knowledge management in multi-stakeholder partnership with an integrated approach, specifically addressing the diversity and inclusion of participants. Additionally, the current focus is on development of artificial intelligence solutions based on knowledge graphs in the development context. Knowledge graphs are a key to explainable AI and a fundament for knowledge management in digital knowledge societies. University is very much interested to work with Professor Dr. Andreas Brandner and his K for Development partner to facilitate digital transformation through K for Development partners at the grassroots level. Let me introduce our guest speaker to the participants. Mr. Manish, can you put the profile? Professor Dr. Andreas Brandner has been Managing Director of Knowledge Management and Knowledge Management Associates since 2001 and a knowledge management pioneer in Europe, providing educational, advisory, research, and innovation services to international customers. Dr. Brandner brings deep experience with more than 20 years of work in the field of consulting, training, and research in relation to knowledge management and policies of knowledge. He established a knowledge management academy which provides international certification courses in knowledge management at the highest level of expertise. He has been the director and trainer at the Knowledge Management Academy ever since. Since April 2017, he is also the founder and managing director of Knowledge for Development Partnership, a global multi-stakeholder platform for knowledge management supporting the Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations. In June 2017, he established Knowledge City and subsidiaries in a growing number of countries, especially in the development context, including Kampala, Nairobi, Lagos, Toga, Zambia, South Africa, and the Gambia. In Europe, Knowledge City is established in Berlin, Sofia, and Vienna. Since 2016, Andreas has become member of the core team of Knowledge Management for Development Community. Since 2019, he is a member of Advisory Board of German Society for Knowledge Management. Since 2019, he is a member of Advisory Board of German Society for Knowledge Management. Since 2009, he is a member of the New Club of Paris. He provided knowledge management consultancy to more than 100 companies, including public administration, international organizations like UNIDO, IAEA, OSCE, CIDSA, African Development Bank, and the City of Vienna, the Federal Administration of Australia, Federal Ministry for Internal Affairs, Federal Ministry of Finance, European Science Fund, Australian Academy of Science, Austrian National Library, European Science Fund, Syrian Audit Court, City of Innsbruck, Indian Ocean Commission, and many more. He established Knowledge Management Award in 2009, which is given to outstanding pioneers in the field of knowledge management and knowledge societies. In 2010, he initiated Knowledge Management Award, and that is dedicated especially to international organizations. He is author of books and articles in the field of knowledge management and teaches knowledge management at several universities. And Andreas Brandner is a doctorate from the University of Vienna, Austria, in communication sciences, focus knowledge management, as well as an MBA from the University of Business and Economics, Vienna. He also holds a Master in Arts History and Communications. In 2022, Dr. Andreas Brandner has been recognized as professor by the President of Republic of Austria for his achievement in the field of knowledge management and knowledge-based development. Dr. Andreas Brandner is married and has 3 children. With this introduction, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Andreas Brandner to the international webinar series on open source digital technologies for self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, to deliver knowledge management for development partners to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN and implementing the Agenda 2030. Over to you, sir. Professor Andreas Brandner, please unmute. Hello? Can you unmute? You are muted. Hello? Hello?
The sir is joining again, sir. I think
Okay.
that is good. It got disconnected.
Hello? Over to you.
So I am back, evidently. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Professor Moni, for the very kind invitation to this webinar series. And also thank you for the kind and comprehensive introduction to myself. Yeah, we are all trying to advance, but still in the right moment, the technical problems come up. And exactly when I wanted to start the internet connection here in Uganda, where I'm currently working at Makerere University, has disappeared. My apologies. Yeah, let me thank you for inviting me to present the Knowledge for Development Partnership, which is a very relevant organization and specifically a challenge for all of us, because partnering for the goals is a call for finally everybody in the world, for every country, for every region, and globally, to collaborate to achieve our overarching global goals. You have mentioned so many relevant topics already, Professor Moni. Thank you very much. The wide range from knowledge-based economy to digitalization, ecosystems, artificial intelligence, and so many more. It is impressive which topics the university is addressing, and even listening to all that what you have mentioned could be already overloading because it is difficult for a person to think all of this I have to know. Knowledge is not given to one person alone. We are specializing in our areas, and only through collaboration and partnership we can convene Good. It seems that the connection is a bit unstable, but let me share my presentation and start to introduce you more to the topics that are announced. So I just have to share this now, and then we can start. Good. I assume that you can see my screen and that I can start my presentation. So I'm speaking as the Executive Director of the Knowledge for Development Partnership, but as Professor Moni mentioned, I'm also Global Chairman of the Knowledge City Network and also Managing Director of the Knowledge Management Academy. But as has been mentioned, we are focused on knowledge. That is our key topic. And we are driving the topic of knowledge management on a global level through the global partnership. We are advocating for knowledge management in the context of development. We are supporting cities to become knowledge cities because cities are the natural hub for knowledge in our societies. We are providing trainings to educate the generation of knowledge managers. We are specifically advancing knowledge management in some thematic areas like agriculture, water, biodiversity, and even in the nuclear field. We are advising organizations and countries in advancing knowledge management strategies and establishing technologies and solutions like knowledge hubs. We are researching. We are connecting knowledge with the arts through a knowledge art space, and we are regularly organizing events and conferences, giving the Knowledge Management Award on an annual basis. That is our background. And although I'm currently in Uganda, you can see Makerere University here in the background. Makerere University is the oldest university in Eastern Africa and one of the most recognized in Africa as a whole, where we have established a Knowledge for Development Center. My background is in Europe. I am born and I live in Vienna. The let's say the place where the famous management guru Peter Drucker was born. Many of you may know him as an American management guru, and in fact, he has left Austria in his young age. But he grew up in a context of Vienna where knowledge has been at that time already recognized as that driving factor for economics and societies. And there are many other famous scientists, like, for instance, Friedrich von Hayek or Peter Schumpeter, who have already addressed this topic before him. So Peter Drucker was really inspiring me and so many others globally by saying that the ability to use knowledge of all kinds, from scientific knowledge to technical knowledge, etc., that helps us to make a change in society. Economic profitability, but also societal development is depending mainly and substantially in our competence and ability to make use of knowledge. And I'm, of course, here simplifying in this short presentation the topic of knowledge management, but specifically in a time of continuous growth of knowledge and decreasing half-time of knowledge, it is critically important to exactly know which knowledge really is important to help us to achieve our goals. We cannot manage every knowledge and we cannot know everything. It would not be possible. That is why I said we have to focus on our knowledge and partner with others where we do not have enough insights. So knowledge management is understood as a targeted, systematic, and integrated approach to knowledge to achieve specific goals. And we really have to understand which knowledge helps us. And in a systematic and integrated approach, we usually also assess what is important, what is our goal, have we achieved it or not. So there is a management perspective for knowledge, but then on the operational level, when we talk about knowledge, first we try to find the right knowledge that we need for our operations. And if we have found it, we may want to acquire it. Imagine we are working in a company, we know there is a very competent university, Shobhit University. How can we acquire knowledge from them? Maybe they can give a lecture, maybe they can be invited as an advisor, maybe we can read their books. There are many ways to acquire knowledge, and by the way, also many barriers usually for people to acquire knowledge. And when we cannot find what we have, what we need, we may want to create new knowledge. And once we have created, we want to share it with our colleagues and our partners. And of course, the sharing is not intended only to be shared. It's intended to be applied and used in practice so that it can benefit our organizations. But when we regularly apply, for sure we learn something new. We have to capture what we have learned. And we have to capture it in such a way that others can find it. So there is a closed knowledge life cycle. And only when the cycle is closed and consistent, then our knowledge creates the maximum benefit. And in the center of this graph, we have put here organizing and linking knowledge. Because the quantity of knowledge that is available is so big that nobody can even know which knowledge we have. There was an old saying already 10, 20 years ago, if Siemens would know what it knows, then it could achieve so much more. And knowing what an organization knows, this is really almost not possible. Only when you need something, you can probably find it if all the knowledge resources are well linked and integrated. And this is what Professor Moni has mentioned. This is the topic of the knowledge graphs of semantic webs that connect the various dots in the organization, data, information, and knowledge, that includes also people, in such way that we can find them when we look for them, and through artificial intelligence, even be informed, actively informed through recommender system and other tools on what we have not even looked for. Because as soon as we do not know what is existing, we can even not look for it. So we need artificial intelligence to recommend us those things of which we are not aware. So this is a simplified overview of topics that are related to knowledge management. And I would also like to address what does that mean in organizations and countries. Because knowledge management is not a topic that you hand over to a knowledge manager, but it addresses all the operations in our organizations. And let us probably first have a look at the organizational view, where the general managers, like CEOs and senior management, will have to develop a knowledge strategy and identify which knowledge is critical for the organization, and to organize knowledge and provide a governance model. Because without responsible people for knowledge, knowledge management will not work. Like we have projects and we have project managers, we have processes and we have process managers. And evidently, knowledge management will not work without knowledge managers. So this is a topic that is positioned on the left side of this graph, and it also reflects that our left brain is suitable to define goals and define responsibilities. So here on the left side are those elements that we try to plan, to organize and structure. Whereas on the right side of this graph, you will find topics that are not that easily tangible, like culture and leadership. How do we inspire people to share their knowledge, to co-create and to collaborate? This is on the right-hand side of our graph here. And good leaders need to act as a role model. They need to encourage their colleagues and staff that knowledge sharing is more important than hoarding and competing against others. So this is the general knowledge management agenda. And on the operational collaborative level, we need to design our knowledge processes throughout the whole value chain of our organization, from onboarding new people to sharing knowledge within the organization and capturing knowledge when people leave at the end of their career. All these knowledge processes are at the heart of any organization. And if you think about what you do all the day long, you will find that more than 50%, if not 80 or 90% of the work is knowledge work and based on knowledge processes which need to be organized. And digitalization today is mainly an issue of digitalizing knowledge processes, to be honest. So again, here on the left-hand side, we can try to structure and organize knowledge processes, but again, there is that space for collaboration that you cannot determine exactly. Working in communities, in social media groups, in knowledge networks, as we say it, cannot be determined like through micromanagement. We have to provide a space in which the unforeseen can happen. And that is the challenge here. But also on a personal, individual level, we need to manage knowledge. Every single employee of an organization should be aware which knowledge really creates a benefit to the organization and how to avail this knowledge to others, how to learn and advance the knowledge so that you are up to date and at the state of the art in your field. Thematic leadership is the only guarantee for sustainable employability. So how do I learn? How do I share knowledge? How do I use technologies, etc.? That is a critical question for every person. And also here, it's not only about learning and achieving goals, but it's also about creativity and innovation. We cannot only rely on knowledge of the past, we also need to be prepared for the knowledge that does not yet exist. And the unknown probably is even bigger than the known. So we need to balance. Let me now come back to this top level. Knowledge management has been long discussed as an organizational topic only, but now that we understand that our global challenges are not limited to organizations, even not to ministries or any kind of government, it is subject to our nations and to national partnerships and global partnerships. Therefore, knowledge politics becomes a critical success factor for any political development. How do we advance knowledge? How do we make knowledge inclusive to all citizens? And there are many topics that I will address in the next slides. Again, here we can define goals, and we call it knowledge development goals, but a knowledge development goal without a partnership cannot be achieved, because knowledge is not given to a single organization. That was already the key argument for Friedrich von Hayek, Nobel Prize winner, against economic systems that are centrally planned and considered to be effective when there is one institution planning the whole economy. Partnerships are important to achieve our sustainable development goals because nobody knows everything. And it is well reflected in the sustainable development goals. We have developed a model which we call the knowledge management for development model, because it reflects more or less these knowledge processes in order to achieve excellence and to develop our knowledge assets, then to produce better products and services, and to finally achieve sustainable development goals as much as organizational development goals. There is also a model, a standard for knowledge management developed in the last years, the ISO standard 3041, and this is also reflected in this model. So knowledge management 20 years ago was really only known for a few pioneers globally, but nowadays it is already part of all the relevant standards. Even the quality standard, which is the most important one, has adopted knowledge management. And you will not find any industry in which the leaders are not applying knowledge management. Now, let us have a look at the sustainable development goals. The mission of the Knowledge for Development Partnership is advancing knowledge for sustainable development. And in fact, in 2015, when the Sustainable Development Goals have been published, our community, the Knowledge Management for Development community, thought about how can we link the SDGs with knowledge management. And we said, well, it's written in the 17th goal. Only through sharing of knowledge and our experiences and our technologies and innovations, we can achieve all our other goals, ranging from poverty reduction to zero hunger, to health, education, and so on and so on. And we invited leaders in development to contribute their views and statements that finally condensed into the agenda Knowledge for Development, which was presented at the UN office in Geneva in 2017. Luckily, at that time, the inspection unit of the UN system has made an inspection of knowledge management in the UN system, and we joined forces because they have developed a very nice report on knowledge management in the UN, and we have developed this agenda, and we presented it to all the UN organizations in a historic conference, I would say, because all the UN organizations have been present, together with a lot of ambassadors and directors at high level. And from these 350 participants, 90% have signed on spot the partnership declaration supporting this initiative, supporting the agenda, and joining forces to make knowledge management. So nowadays we have the Director General of UNESCO, chancellors, recognized universities. You can have all these personalities write about knowledge and how they define and perceive knowledge development goals. And we have condensed all these contributions to 14 knowledge development goals, which are also linked with concrete action. And I'm allowed only to really give a brief overlook of these 14 knowledge development goals, ranging from the pluralistic, diverse, and inclusive knowledge societies. Inclusion, in fact, in general in societies, is significantly rooted in knowledge inclusion. Recently, I discussed and advised organizations in financial inclusion. How can people that have less education or access to electricity and technology, how can they have access to financial instruments? And finally, when we discussed it, they said, mainly the problem is the lack of knowledge of those who want to have access to financial systems and instruments, but also those who provide financial instruments. They are lacking the knowledge of how to reach those smallhold-held farmers or those people in the rural areas with less access to infrastructures. So this is the first topic. The second is people-focused knowledge societies should strengthen the independence, the self-determined citizen who has, through knowledge, access to a decent job, can decide on his own, let's say, personal development, has a better understanding of how to strengthen his health. Health, think about health. 50% of your health depends on your own competence to feed yourself well, to behave in the correct way, etc. So knowledge, even on an individual level, is the key resource for the achievement of development goals. Professor Moni, you have mentioned the term ecosystems quite regularly in your introduction. And in fact, strengthening local knowledge ecosystems is really one of the key challenges, because in many countries we have knowledge available. The research organizations and universities have knowledge, and the governments and the companies and the farmers and every citizen has knowledge, but what is often lacking is the linkages. How do the businesses connect with the universities? How does government support the knowledge flows in the ecosystem? And in fact, if we could avail and use and apply all the knowledge that is available in a strong knowledge ecosystem, then our world would look much different. And in order to develop these ecosystems, we need to establish knowledge partnerships. And we will talk about agricultural knowledge partnership and water knowledge partnership and a biodiversity knowledge partnership and much more. Because without a knowledge-oriented collaboration, we will not achieve our goals. So let me go faster. Knowledge cities are critical, but only if we respect the rural-urban linkages. Of course, we need to strengthen knowledge management and knowledge strategies in public organizations. We need to think about how do we capture and democratize knowledge in our countries. Even knowledge for safety and security is incredibly important. Think about Fukushima. It is maybe the biggest accident in the world that is linked with critical knowledge, because there was a generation shift in Fukushima just a short time before this happened, and the IAEA itself has not having available as you to and draw your attention to other aspects as well. I just have to connect my computer with electricity. My apologies, but it would be a pity if I get lost. So I would like to bring your attention to the next topic, because what we have done on a global level for the Knowledge for Development Partnership and the SDGs should also be done on a national level. Let me just check. I think it works. Should also be done on a national level. And in Uganda, that's where I'm currently at the moment. In Uganda, we succeeded to develop a national knowledge agenda linked with the national development plans and built on a knowledge partnership that includes governments, academic institutions, private organizations, international organizations who support Uganda, and much more. And we have structured it a bit differently. Of course, many topics are the same, but we have probably highlighted different aspects and structured them differently. So the first aspect we are following here is the happy, knowledgeable citizen, and developing a number of activities that strengthen the citizen in his or her way to determine his or her own life. And yes, you will find diversity and inclusion here, but in Africa, the youth, of course, is specifically important because 80% of the population here are younger than 35. Whereas the organizations specifically, of course, need to collaborate stronger with each other. You will find topics like knowledge management. And I would like to highlight that topic of knowledge acquisition. I think that is a very interesting topic for a country because when a country has a lack of knowledge, it has to have a very smart strategy how to acquire the knowledge. The United Arab Emirates had a fantastic development success by buying the knowledge. They have really, in a very smart way, by the way, used the financial resources to acquire knowledge from all over the world. The best knowledge paid with good money. I have even worked myself, and I have never earned as much money as in the
Dr. Andreas. Mr. Manish, it seems is internet slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us wait.
Yes, sir. Let's wait, sir. So, sir, it's disconnected. Maybe he'll joining again.
Mr. Manish,
Yes, sir.
you can put Dr. Jabamale and Mr. Banerjee, Benjamin on foreground. Let them discuss. Meanwhile, he will join. Hello.
Yes, sir, I am
I'll
with you.
talk to you later. Thank you. I think, thank you very much for Mr. Benjamin Abugari and Dr. Jabamale sir to join. Meanwhile, Dr. Andreas, Brandner is joining. I think he has, yes.
Yeah, he's joined. He joined. Andreas is with us. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
we should allow him
Carry
to
on.
continue, Professor. Huh?
Yeah, that's
Let
true.
him continue.
Yeah, that's
My apologies.
no problem.
The net connection
We
is really the problem here. So I have to share again my screen. It takes a few seconds, and then we can continue, hopefully. But it's really good that you have introduced Benjamin Abukri already. He's a champion for knowledge management in Africa,
no,
and specifically in the agricultural sector. And I would really recommend that should I be disconnected again, that you hand over to him to report about the Knowledge Management for Agricultural Development Challenge. And I hope that you can now see the screen again.
Yes, sir. We can see the screen, sir.
Can you see my screen?
yeah. You're skipping.
Uh-huh. It's fortunately it's jumping a lot, but I think
Okay, no problem.
no, I'm not doing this. Okay,
No.
good. Let us continue. So I say we need a knowledge partnership. We need knowledge. The slides are moving without my activities. So we need a partnership to achieve all these goals. And finally, we want to promote the development of knowledge strategies on a national and local level.
Come out and then, yeah, okay. Mr. Manish, you can stop from your side and then he can get into that. Mr. Manish.
I will stop it again. and then reactivate it.
Okay.
No, it's fine, sir. It's fine, sir.
Okay.
Seems
Okay.
better now. So here is my invitation to join the Knowledge for Development, help supporting knowledge policies and strategies on a national and political level. In this year, we will hopefully in autumn launch the first summer school for knowledge politics in collaboration with the UN. We will for sure continue to strengthen the collaboration specifically for so-called knowledge challenges, raise awareness for knowledge on all levels of society, on national level and on thematic level, ranging from water, sanitation to electricity and affordable housing and all these other topics that we have. And I encourage you to share the partnership to strengthen knowledge management in your institutions and to collaborate and advance the knowledge sharing and problems. To go into all these activities of K4DP, but I can just highlight that since our inauguration in 2017, we have taken up operations in numerous countries, and I hope that in India we will definitely strengthen and deepen our partnerships. Education and training is critical. There are many universities already globally that provide Master of Science and PhD programs in knowledge management. And our School of Knowledge Sciences, which we have established, provides, let's say, connects the universities globally, and we provide educational programs online for now and also in countries. We advise and help countries and organizations to advance knowledge management. And something that I would like to highlight, because I think it has a very strong impact and was very successful in the last year, is the so-called Knowledge for Development Challenge. Maybe we can do something like this in India, a Knowledge for Development Challenge for India. Would that not be an amazing project? Last year, we have established the first knowledge Benjamin Nabugri will tell us more about it. And I'm happy to present this to the Asian African organization for or partnership for rural development, because maybe Asian partners would like to join forces with Africa, specifically in the field of agricultural development, considering the strong background in agriculture 4.0. So the idea of the challenge is that we need qualified people to work together on the sectoral and knowledge challenges and advance the knowledge ecosystem together. And this 4-month program combines educational aspects with transformational aspects, so that those who learn are also working on challenges that are identified and provide solutions and knowledge policy briefs. And tell us more about this. So in the challenges we are now developing, we have organizational knowledge management challenge, and that also fits the global agenda knowledge for development. Participants with the knowledge management certificate development that are recognized by QP, but also by the participating international organization. I will not say a lot about the African challenge because Benjamin will do that. Also not about the agenda, which you, Prof. Moni, have highlighted already. But It's just to mention that the K4D challenges are not only educational, really address key issues and provide solutions and knowledge policy briefs. So the School of Knowledge Sciences, as a young activity of the Knowledge for Development Partnership, is a global network of academic partners who are researching in the field of knowledge sciences. And I hope that Shobhit University will become a member of this noble network, and we join forces to strengthen education and research in the field of knowledge sciences. And among our activities, you will find education, research, but also communication and advocacy, as well as maybe the youngest and smallest sibling in this group, art and culture, because knowledge cultures are very different. The European knowledge culture is different to the African. This again is different to the Indian, and we can learn from each other. And it's amazing to which extent art can transport the cultural mechanisms of knowledge sharing. Let me jump over the slides. The rationale is that knowledge is the key resource, so we need to dedicate educational and research projects to the advancement of knowledge. It is not happening yet adequately. And the amount of universities and centers that are focused explicitly on the advancement of knowledge is still very low. And let us even, since we are at the university here, let us even think about the term knowledge sciences. And I will jump to the specific slide because usually we consider that knowledge is in every scientific discipline, so we cannot, let's say, have an own discipline on knowledge. But that is not true anymore. Maybe thousands of years ago, philosophy was overarching scientific discipline that feeded all the others. And nowadays, where the use of knowledge has become so challenging and at the heart of all our achievements, knowledge science is the one scientific field that we need to strengthen in order to substantiate, to feed and nurture all the other disciplines in our universities. And we talk about data scientists, but we are not working for the data. Data has to become information. Information has to lead to knowledge, and knowledge has to lead to development. And knowledge sciences can really be the foundation for good knowledge scientists, for good learning professionals. Artificial intelligence requires a good understanding what is knowledge. Please let us not disconnect artificial intelligence with human intelligence. This is connected, and we need to understand what is intelligence, what is knowledge, in order to develop artificial intelligence solutions. We talk about knowledge engineers, not promote the establishment of centers for knowledge sciences, if not even institutes or departments, schools of knowledge science. So that is really my call for the academic partners to join. The job title of a knowledge scientist. We are talking about data scientists, but what is even a unique trend in the future? And I would like to close here because I know time running, and my dear friend Benjamin Aboukri has a lot to share about agricultural development in Africa. Please listen to him. He's a person, he was very successful in promoting management in Africa in the agricultural sector. And I would like to hand.
Thank you very much, Professor Andreas Brandner, for your very important and innovative address on the topic knowledge management for development partnership to achieve the sustainable
Professor Moni,
development goals.
you are muted.
No? Hello? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are. Yes, we can hear you.
Professor Andreas, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your very innovative, very impressive, and in knowledge, based discussion, and it is a very important, address to the audience and this international webinar series, and even addressing the various, need for knowledge-based economy and for various countries, and also address to the audience of the RDO member countries. It is a very important topic, even though we had a little bit of difficulties because of the internet bandwidth, low internet bandwidth, but you are able to communicate what you wanted to convey to the audience. It's a very important topic. And the last one which you put it, that the development of knowledge scientists converging about 9 discipline is the key takeaway. Today, in the era of knowledge development, is all becoming vertically developed. And in your concluding slide, which you talked about, emergence of knowledge scientists is very important. Integrating 9 knowledge discipline, and this is very important. This is where the institution like yours and the educational institution and industries, NGOs, has to work on it. And to have further deliberations and discussions in the shortest time available, I will request Mr. Benjamin Abugare, who is working with Professor Andreas Brandner, and for agriculture knowledge management in in your country. And also I would like to request Dr. Jabamale Vinanjarachi, and he is a strong supporter of my initiative, the international webinar series. He is also addressed in the webinar series, and very important topic: open innovation and value creation network in a digitalized world for self-reliant economy. I always quote his talk, and today's talk also I have quoted his talk, and I am very happy when I requested him yesterday evening. Can you join? Is it possible for you to join for some time when Professor Andreas Brandner is delivering the talk, and he is there? He is joined. Thank you very much, Dr. Jabamalai sir. And to begin with, Mr. Benjamin, can you briefly tell that what is your activity with respect to the development of knowledge-based knowledge management for agriculture development in your country?
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Moni. Thank you, Professor Andreas, for your kind words. Greetings from Accra, Ghana. My name is Benjamin Abugri, and I work for the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa. I think I'm very passionate about knowledge management, and I've been doing this also for almost 10 years now. Can I be permitted to share my screen? I have some few slides to present.
Fine.
All right. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. You can put it
Yes.
on
Yes.
Is it
presentation
visible?
mode.
Yes.
You can put it in a presentation mode.
Yes, I have
Yes,
just
it
done
is
so.
visible.
Is it okay?
Okay.
Is it on presentation mode now?
Okay. Yes. Yes. No. It is.
All right.
It is in the. It is in the. It is not a presentation mode. You can enlarge it. Look, you can go to the slideshow and then expand it.
Okay. So yeah, sorry. Is it now okay?
No problem. Let us. For the word of time, you carry on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes. So thank you very much. So I was just introducing myself. Um, and as I said, my name is Benjamin Abugri, and I work for the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa. And the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa is the apex continental organization for the African Union, responsible for coordinating and advocating for agricultural research for development in Africa. FARA, we shortly call ourselves FARA. FARA serves as the entry point for agricultural research initiatives in Africa, and is designed to have a continental reach spanning more than one sub-region. Now, what you are seeing in my screen, if only you can see, is how FARA is structured. It's a partnership, and so we connect to the 55 African countries, and in turn we work with the Global Forum on Agricultural Research, called GIFA, at the global level. And so FARA reaches out to all the African Union member states through the sub-regional organizations, i.e. the one for West and Central Africa, known as CORAF, Southern Africa, known as
Mr. Benjamin,
CADESA.
your slide is not moving. Yeah, your slide is
Wow.
not moving.
Okay, maybe let me just let me try to reshare. It appears. Okay. So
click on the share and click on the slide and then upload. So it will take 1 minute maximum, but it is
okay.
perfectly come fine, sir.
Okay. Sorry, I think I should have done so a little bit earlier. All right.
Well, coming, can I
Yes,
request?
it's just almost done.
It must be showing processing.
Yeah.
Yes, it will take maximum 1 minute, sir. Meanwhile, sir, you
Sorry.
carry on with your the PPT will come in a while, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I was just saying that the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa, that is the composition of us. The next slide, which if it comes, I will do so, is to also establish that in Africa, our priority setting is guided by the existing frameworks and targets. Now we have working towards the Sustainable Development Goals through what we call the African Union Agenda 2063. And that is contributed by what we call the CADEP Malabo Goals. That's a comprehensive African agriculture development program. We also have the Science, Technology, Innovations framework. We also have what we call the Feed Africa. And the Feed Africa initiative is where the concept of the science agenda for agriculture development in Africa has been designed as the main framework. And in turn, we have all the national agriculture productivity programs, the national agricultural research and systems programs, the CG centers, the programs from the CG centers, and then a lot of other programs that are being carried out in Africa. That is where we have them we have them contributing to the science agenda for Africa. I think my slide is now up. I can
Yes.
Yes. All right. That's fine. Okay. Yes. So this was the diagram I was just talking about, how Africa contributes to the Sustainable Development Goals. And so we work within a framework that we call the Science Agenda for Agriculture Development in Africa, popularly known as the S3A. Now, under the S3A, which has a very core component for knowledge management, in 2017 there was continental consultations on what FARA as a continental organization can do to be able to accelerate productivity and production and to aid the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, in recommendations 4, the continent requested that FARA as the continental organization should have a robust knowledge management system that is a veritable platform providing knowledge and information support to the science agenda for agriculture in Africa, and that it should be enhanced to regularly and systematically collate, process, and share implementation strategies, programs, and lessons. And so, as a result of that, in 2018, we developed what we call the Observatory for Africa Agriculture. Now, this observatory, popularly known as the FARA Data Informs, and this is online, FARA Data Informs, provides opportunities for knowledge products and services. It provides opportunities for learning, sharing, and adoption, and as well as adoption. It also provides quality assurance, and partnerships is one of the key things on all that we do. Now, all under the data, the data informs, the whole agenda is to provide access to relevant knowledge and information to our constituents. And so this is just a pictorial evidence, a pictorial view of how the FARA data informs is. Now, if you go to this platform, you are going to see a lot of information about issues of agriculture in Africa, including other databases that provides information on innovation platforms, how to connect to agriculture institutions in Africa, in all the 55 countries, access to funding opportunities, news items, and then it also includes expert directory, as well as the communities of practice the platform, which we engage on a frequent basis. Now, fast forward, because FARA is a learning organization, and constantly, as we know, knowledge management is a very strong tool aimed at supporting the achievement of the CADEP Malabo goals, which contribute to the SDGs. We convene an experts workshop in Ghana in a place called the Akusambo, where we try to look at how we can harmonize the agenda for knowledge management in agriculture in Africa. And so, as you can see, Dr. Andreas was the key facilitator with us. And so we've been with him for some time now in terms of helping shape the knowledge management agenda for agriculture in Africa. And so we came up with what we call the knowledge management, the continental data capture strategy. And then we established an agenda that we call the Akusambo integration agenda. Now, this is a document that has been published online and is available for you to access. Now, in the aim of the Akusambo agenda was to reposition FARA as a knowledge organization, providing that harmonization as a continental organization, and then helping the African Union to be able to make very informed decisions. So the team of experts came up with 7 thematic areas that we found very, very relevant if we have to knowledgeize, to borrow the word of Professor Andreas, the continent of Africa. So we agreed that we need to have a we need to have common knowledge management approaches that are targeted, systematic, integrated, and aimed at building the ecosystem. We need to have harmonized knowledge management tools that help us to be able to connect and link our knowledge resources. And this is where, as Professor Andreas was talking about the issues of knowledge graph, this is where the starting point comes, to be able to have this harmonized system that work towards developing a knowledge graph. And then knowledge resources, the knowledge management processes, communities of practice, collaboration, co-creation, innovation in thematic areas, the knowledge management capacity development, of which we identified one of the main approaches, the knowledge management for development model, which I will be talking about in a few minutes. And then the knowledge ecosystem, strengthening the knowledge ecosystem for agricultural research for development in Africa. So these were the 7 key areas that we identified, and this has been the bedrock, or this is one of our key short, medium to long-term agenda that we have started working on. Now, the first step is that we have been able to publish a practical guide for knowledge managers in Africa research, agricultural research for development, and it's known as the Continental Data Capture Strategy. This is online, just as I mentioned. Now, fast forward, as part of the implementation of the Akusambo integration agenda and working with the Knowledge for Development Partnership, of which Dr. Andreas is the executive director, we came up with an adoption of the Knowledge for Development model. And in Africa, or in the agriculture sector, we called it the Knowledge Management for Agriculture Development Challenge, and aimed at strengthening the knowledge ecosystem. Now, this was a program, a continental program, that has been established as a joint annual program together with FARA and our sub-regional organizations, and in partnership with the Knowledge for Development Partnership. Participants, just as Professor Andreas had mentioned earlier, participants learn about knowledge management, they learn about knowledge society, and they are in a training program for 8 days, as well as using knowledge cafes. And this is just for 2021. There could be other approaches that will be used in subsequent years, but the knowledge cafe was the key thing that we used in 2021. Now, together with sector partners, each of the participants will master 2 key challenges that they identify in Africa. And as a result of this, for the period of 3 months certification training, very intensive one, they were able to develop 10 thematic policy briefs. Now, these policy briefs is what you will see, as I'll be showcasing, and as has been shown by Professor Andreas, as what we now call the Declaration on the Knowledge Management for Agriculture Development Agenda for Africa. As a result of that, we were able to train 28 national representatives, and they managed to develop 28 knowledge management strategies, and then they developed 21 knowledge country policy briefs, knowledge country policy briefs. Now, you may ask that 28, 21. Now, these 28 participants were from 21 countries. And as a result of that, from the 3 months training or using the KM4D model, they were capacitated, they were certificated, and their capacities were enhanced to the extent that they were able to develop knowledge management policies for their countries and for their organizations. And these participants, all of them they got certified as knowledge managers for sustainable development, accredited by recognized universities, of which the Makerere University Business School is one of them. They presented the findings they got at a high-level knowledge management conference in December last year, and this has been the agenda, which 21 countries at the moment, as you can see from my screen now, all these 21 countries have their knowledge management strategies in drafts. And in 2022, we are working with them to help them mainstream these whole knowledge management strategies, the knowledge management policies within the national system. Now, in mainstreaming, they already have done engagement, and that is how they developed it. Now, it's about ensuring that there is that political commitment to ensure that the countries are committed to implementing the policies and then the strategies that have been developed. So as you can see, these are the countries in Africa that currently have knowledge management policies and knowledge management strategies. And within 3 months, for us, this was a very big achievement, because developing a strategy and a policy for a country within the space of 3 months and is a big achievement for us. And we think that we are on course in terms of knowledgeizing the African continent, especially in the area of agriculture. Now, these are just a few of the participants that were part of the knowledge management training, and then they have been certified from these countries. Subsequently, now as part of the commitments of the African institutions to ensure that,
yes. Mr. Benjamin, can you shorten your,
okay,
can you come to the conclusion?
I'm just concluding. Thank you. So as part of the agenda to ensure that we are committed to the knowledge management agenda for Africa, these were the 10 key areas that we had a declaration on, which have been signed, and this is what we are going to commit to. Professor Moni had already spoken about some of these in his introduction, so I'm not going to talk about it. But just to emphasize that knowledge partnership is one of the key things that we think is the best way to move on. Now, in conclusion, I just want to emphasize that in the African continent and in the area of agricultural research for development, the knowledge management for agricultural development challenge has been proven very successful and adaptable in all sectors. Strengthening the knowledge ecosystem requires partnerships, especially in developing countries. And so FARA, the Knowledge for Development Partnership, and all the partners that we have worked with are open to these partnerships aimed at ensuring that we share knowledge, and also we are helping to strengthen the knowledge ecosystem for the continent. The Knowledge Management for Agriculture Development Community of Practice at the moment, and all these people that were trained are now in a community of practice, and these are practitioners within the national agricultural systems. And we meet every month to deliberate on key things about Africa, and especially how to integrate the concept of artificial intelligence into into the whole discussion, as well as providing a faculty for implementation at the country level. As finally, the establishment of knowledge centers with linkage to the academia will also help in sustaining this momentum that we have built within the past year. And so for 2022, we are gearing towards implementing the next level or the next batch of the knowledge for development for agriculture development challenge. And we invite any interested organization or partner who wants to contribute to this or who wants to be part of it to look forward to engaging with us on it. These are just resources that if we share the slides with participants, they will have access to almost all what I'm talking about. And so everything is online for you to have access to. And so I wish to thank you very much for the opportunity to share these lessons. I'm grateful. Over to you, Professor Moni.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin Abagri, for bringing out in a nutshell that what Professor Andreas Brandner said it and what you said it in the context of Africa and through the FARA. Thank you very much. And this gives a lot of opportunity that, an effective, collaborative, collaboration between the, Knowledge for Development Partner Organization of Professor Andreas Brandner and FARA of, Africa, and the, Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology through this international webinar series, and also strong in agricultural informatics development programs as a Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies in India. We would like to work together in a very collaborative manner to bring in knowledge management, knowledge science, and knowledge scientists for development, sectors, especially in the agricultural sector. Thank you very much. And now I would like to request I can say that, proudly, that he has become my mentor with respect to international perspective is concerned. And Dr. Jabamale Vinanjarachi, and he introduced me to Professor, Andreas Brandner. And I would like to hear from you that what is your, suggestion and agenda for the knowledge forum which we have created. This is the 64th edition of the webinar series on a very important topic, and you are an international economist and worked in international agencies like UNIDO for more than 3 decades. I would like to request Dr. Jabamali Vinanjarachi for his brief intervention. Over to you, sir.
Yes, Professor, I will be very, very brief because of the time factor. I am overwhelmed by your kind invitation, and I listened to Andreas very carefully, my good friend. Despite the intermittent technical snack, I was tuned to his speech. His speech delivered by Mr. Benjamin is also equally good. All the ideas that transpired are of immediate interest to me, to the bottom of my heart, believe me, because when I was working for the UN, I was always fascinated by the development potential of Africa. Africa is going to be the last investment continent. There is no doubt about it. And I was also worried about the viable avenues Africa should follow to pull the continent from the clutches of the resource curse. This continent encompasses a huge reservoir of everything. You name anything, from diamond to gold, silver, the agricultural products, anything you name, it encompasses. Unfortunately, the continent is at the bottom of value addition and struggling, completely strangled in the clutches of resource curse. And I think you asked us to spell out the agenda for action, collective action. In fact, the university, Soviet University, Mr. Farah, Mr. Benjamin's Institute, Farah, and Andreas' great institute, Knowledge for Development, Knowledge Management Associates, we can collectively work on something which I am going to say. What is needed in the light of all that we learned during the pandemic, in the crisis? African research institutions have done a lot in inventing many things based on the traditional knowledge and traditional medical practices of the people living in remote villages. Let me give you one example. An institute in Khartoum, has discovered they extract from a very rare plant which grows in the desert. You don't plant, you don't water, you don't manure, it grows in spite of that. They have discovered that this extract can heal the open wound of diabetic patients. The market is to the tune of $50 billion. I can say. So let us collectively embark on a project called an inventory, to prepare an inventory of the research findings of African research institutions based on the traditional knowledge and traditional medical practices. Unfortunately, these research findings turned out to be debt investment because of lack of technical assistance and lack of resources to commercialize them. So first we create an inventory of the research findings, and then we try to identify viable avenues of commercializing these research findings. The commercialization entails, you have to get the patents registered, and then you have to find money to commercialize it. So I think technical assistance can be rendered by Indian scientists and through the Soviet University, and maybe we have to look for funds in the Gulf region. The Gulf, the petrodollar owners are looking for coveted investment opportunities in the sub-region, and Africa is the best candidate for this. Let us try to dovetail all these things and come out with a business plan and agenda for action. I am most willing to write a concept note on this and send it to Professor Moni, maybe within a week. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very important note. And as you have been always supporting our the intellectual pursuit, the international webinar series, the national webinar series, and your contribution is very important and has been very important. And I'm quite uh, supported by you. And then in the bringing of Professor Andreas Brandner to our forum is also your initiative. And Mr. Professor Andreas Brandner, now he brought Benjamin Abukri also to join with us. I also would like to tell you that in 2014 there was an international forum that is on African Asian agribusiness summit. I was associated with as a president of International Agriculture Consulting Group from India, and FICCI, which is a commercial association, industries association, was the was organizing this forum, and many African countries and Asian countries participated. It is in the month of February 2014, and the FICCI has asked the International Agriculture Consulting Group to be the knowledge partner. And as I was the president, I was asked to prepare the content for draft speech for the the VIPs, and then I sent it, and the FICCI has sent it to the the VIP, and that VIP was the our honorable president of India. And in the two paragraphs which I mentioned, it has been included by our honorable then president of India. One is that there is an south-south cooperation between Africa and India on agricultural informatics. And this is a very important thing. It was in 2014 in his speech, and I'm very happy. And then it is we have to now collaborate, we have to cooperate. And because for me also, Africa, 51 countries, I have toured many countries, and also when I was in service, and also invited by the CTA of European Commission, and which is meant for technology for agriculture rule development for African countries. And I also participated in the international conference at Kigali. And lot of work can be done, like Dr. Jabamale said it, that it's a lot of it's a land of region of opportunities, and especially for agriculture and natural resources. So knowledge management is very important. And today talk, it's a really international characteristic. It's a webinar series on open source digital technology for self-reliant India is the topic, but it is covering because India is an emerging economy, and it also has a concern for all its neighbors or its partners, development partners, and so on and so forth. So Africa is very important for India. And today talk has gone a vibrant mode for all the development partners in the world, in the country, to work with both India and Africa, and with the development partners like you. And I would like to request Professor Andreas Brandner that how to collaborate this between your institute, your forum, knowledge for development partner, and the Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology. And you also said it that knowledge management course is very important, and it incorporates 9 discipline of present developmental aspects, and it's very important. And let us join together through an MOU, and let us work. And I also developed a course, a material,
May I
a
get
course.
1 minute, Professor?
Yeah.
May I get 1 minute, Professor? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
By virtue of the fact that Mr. Benjamin Abugri, am I right? Do I spell your family name correctly, Abugri? I call you Benjamin. You call me Arach. Yeah. Benjamin is
Very
very
right.
close to. He's very close to Africa Union, and I would kindly request him. I will follow. I suggest the following. I send the concept note to Andreas and you. We collectively finalize it in consultation. That we And I want to take this concept note to Africa Union by virtue of the fact that he's working very close with Africa Union. If they show the green signal, then Andreas may be able to play a major role in fundraising, talking to relevant donors and this and that. Then we just explore the avenues of getting technical assistance from India also. And there are so many routes through which we can get, including the credit line offered by Government of India and India's contribution to the development funds with the international organizations. The conditionality is Indian experts and institutions should be used. And there are many ways to raise funds. And let us try to at least convert investment, research findings related to 3 products into commercialized products. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And it is a very important, suggestion and your initiative. And we're looking forward to have your concept note. And I also would like to stress that with the strong participation, development of agricultural informatics professionals to strengthen the knowledge for agriculture development is very important. And this is what my Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Studies in the Shobhit University is the first center in the world, and which runs an MTech level programs in agricultural informatics. And this in collaboration with FARA. And if we can develop 10 professionals at the at the MTech level, that is BSc agricultural professionals, 10 per each country. If we're able to have it, it will be a very big knowledge group for making agricultural development in a big manner towards the knowledge management route, because it has 9 disciplines. So this is the point which I would like to put forth to all of you, that the effective collaboration of Soviet Institute of Engineering Technology and Knowledge for Development Partner and FARA to generate the knowledge management professionals, and the bigger one is that is agricultural informatics professionals, to produce 10 people per country, maybe for the next 10 years, 5 years, means 51 African countries, and 51 into 10, about around 510, maybe that 500. And this will be a very big knowledge group for us to take our journey forward. So with this, I would like to hear the final word from Professor Andreas Brandner. You heard about me, you heard about Mr. Benjamin, and you heard about Dr. Jabamali Vinamjaraj. So over to you for another 1 minute. Then I will thank everybody and I will close the webinar today.
I am very happy about Benjamin's contribution, about sharing his experiences about the agricultural knowledge for instrument to both strengthen the capacities, but also solve problems and implement action. And I really appreciate so much my dear friend and mentor, Jebomala Vinamjaraj, for contributing. And I appreciate his recommendation to work with the African Union. By the way, they are all, the African Union, all the donors, even the governments, they all are committed to knowledge question. That is why we need a knowledge for development partnership. And I passionately will work with you on this in Africa, in India, in the whole of Asia, and of course, globally. Professor Moni, thank you very much for the invitation. And all the visitors, thank you for listening. And I look forward to getting in contact with you personally and to start collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And, I would like to thank the Honorable Chancellor, Soviet Institute of Engineering Technology, His Excellency Secretary General Ordo, for helping us in organizing this international webinar series on open source digital technology for self-reliant India. Atmanirbhar Bharat, and every week, every Saturday. Today's topic is very important. We'll work together to strengthen our developmental agenda through knowledge partnership. And Knowledge for Development Partner Forum is very important. And today we are lucky to have both Professor Dr. Andreas Brandner and Mr. Benjamin Abugri and Dr. Jabamale Vinanchi Arach. With this, I thank all the participants and guest speaker and our guest, guest of Dr. Mr. Benjamin Abigiri and Dr. Benjamin, Jabamale Vinanji Arachi for joining us and spending their valuable time in interacting with us through this forum, through this international webinar series. So thank you very much. With this, I close the webinar and we'll leave the studio. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
So thanks for your participation and greetings from Shobhit University. For more research inquiries, please contact Professor Moni Madhuswamy, Professor Emeritus and Chairman, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and former Director General, National Informatics Center, Government of India, New Delhi. My email ID is moni@shobhituniversity.ac.in. We leave studio. Thank you.